All right, so here we go again. And this time we will be talking about the action and the infinite potential. And what do I mean by that? I think we've heard the infinite potential many times before, but what do I actually mean by that is so this I'm just trying to highlight it a bit so it comes out uh, easier to see on the video. Okay, so it came out a bit crooked, but I guess we'll just have to live with that. So this would be the infinite potential. And what do I mean by that? This is kind of the blank canvas. Your life would be this, and your life or the infinite potential will just stay as the infinite potential if there is no action. So uh, your action will materialize the infinite potential. So let's draw the action here. Okay. And it's not accurate by any standards, but I guess everybody has seen the powers, the on off like button on different things like electronic devices and stuff. It kind of looks like that, or that was kind of what it was supposed to look like. But even in that, like we've spoken before, you are the current flow. You are the energy in constant flow. And there the flow is always there, but it's kind of like the infinite is always there, but unless there is the action, nothing will materialize, nothing will happen. So the infinite potential is always there, but it needs the action for anything to happen. So this is the on off switch. You are the on off switch. And so uh, let's say that. So let's do a couple of more. And on that side, we can do that. So this is going to get into not sexual, but well, you guys just you're gonna see. So we have two circles which are basically this, and this we can turn into male. So this would be female. And just by looking at the symbols for female and male, this is the action coming out of the circle, and here you have the plus sign. You need to add something, you need to have the action coming in for the infinite potential. So that's the male, that's the female. And I always try to give like different points of view about the same thing. Like oftentimes I think we are more focused on the labels than on the message itself. Like we feel like the labels are more important than the actual message. So in astronomy, this would be Mars, and this would be Venus. So people into that stuff, they know why Mars would be male, why male would be the action, why female is Venus, and why female is the infinite potential. And so we would, or we could call this the womb. And the womb, as within, so without, there is always, in every situation, in everything, there is a womb. But in female, there is the womb, the infinite potential. But unless there is the action, that infinite potential will not materialize. So there has to be the action. So I guess everybody kind of can see what I'm trying to demonstrate here with this symbol. So this is the action. So this is the male phallus going into the female womb. And there, so this would be the input. And the input is the action, and after the action there will be the output, which is the creation of new life. But it's not just in that context. Like in everything there is the input into the infinite, and then there's the output. Like in every situation at all times there has to be the input in the action, and then there's going to be the output, which is something new. Something new gets created in this way. So like in the old Egypt, the female, before these were used, like symbols like this, the female symbol would have been like this, and that is pretty obvious what that stands for. And the male symbol would have been like that. And if we go back to the astrology and astronomy, that starts to make even more sense. The input or the action in the infinite potential. So we get the this Star of David, which is just another label. But in everything there has to be the womb for the infinite potential, then there's the input, the action, and after there's the action, there's going to be the output, and the output is the creation. Like in astronomy, the male female, that is the symbol of action. This is the infinite potential. Like there, without each other, like if there was only male, the action wouldn't have the opportunity for the infinite potential. Like nothing would happen even if there was the action. Nothing would be created. And just as if there were only female, if there was only the infinite potential but no action, nothing would materialize. So this life would not exist without both of these. And it's not just the traditional male female roles, like it's everything. Every situation in this life goes by this same idea. Like every encounter, every thought, everything uses this same idea. Like a lot of people present this reality. Like let's say that this would be the this is just freaking. This would be the phallus, the male penis, and here would be the female. This would be the vesica piscis, but still, it's the same thing. Just trying to cater to everybody's point of view, because it's just labels, but this basically is just, as the easiest symbol would be a circle, and this would be a line. And there's the theory that a lot of people use, and I'm not denying that, but I'm just trying to give it a different context, like what that actually means. The theory of the simulation theory. And if we think the life to be a simulation, like on the computer language, there is the binary code. And what the binary code consists, what is that? It's ones and zeros. And in the binary code, binary means duality, not single. Binary means dualistic, not single. So even in that so-called simulation theory, it makes sense that the circle is the infinite potential, but without the action of the one, nothing will happen. So even in the binary code, there needs to be both action and the infinite potential. Like there is, the whole simulation would not exist without both ones and zeros. That's why it's the binary code. It is the action and the infinite potential. So people who say that this is like a computer simulation, in a way I would agree with that, just because there needs to be the action for the infinite potential to materialize. Without the action, there would be nothing. So, but I don't see this. To me, life is more organic than mechanic. So, but that doesn't take away that this still applies both in this so-called simulation theory as well as life as we experience it. So the male, the female, they both need to be there for something new. New creation. So something new. If anything new needs to be created, it's gonna need both input into the infinite, or the action. It's the same thing. Input, action. There needs to be the action in the infinite potential to have the output, the new creation in the womb. So if you are into the life being a simulation, I feel like this would make more sense once you realize that it is action, infinite potential, action, like, yeah, well, it's not like that sequence. It's just like different sequences means different things, just as in life in general. So, and for the Hermetics, the Gnostics, we have the monad. We can put Barbello, and here would be Sophia. So it's all the same. We're talking, and that's like one of the things, like I'm not trying to convince anybody that this is it. I'm just laying this down as I have experienced it. It's not my thing to. I'm not saying to anybody that do these 5 steps to become a better person, or follow me and I will lead you into the promised land. No, I'm just kind of trying to lay down the pure structure, the mechanics of how everything works. And what you do with this, it's always up to you. I'm not trying to convince anybody or change anybody's minds about anything. But just to give you an idea, if you are into the simulation theory, the ones and zeros are just the action in the infinite potential, just as it is in the creation of life and everything in between. And focusing on the labels of astronomy, Gnostics, simulation, we're talking about the same thing. It's just that you often hear people defending the labels more than the actual message. And I feel like the message should be more important than the labels. But yeah, action the infinite potential. I feel like we can just leave it at that. I'm just I'm pretty sure that it makes sense. Male is the action, and within males, just before I go, within males there is the feminine side as well, and in every male action there is the infinite potential. So in your, even if you're a male living alone in your everyday life, there is the infinite potential that you have the action on or in to create your life as it unfolds. Same with the female. So I'm not talking only about the actual creation of life between male and female, but every situation in every life has this happening at all times, just as it is in the simulation theory with the binary code with ones and zeros. But yeah, I just wanted to keep that short. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.